human aspect of business analysis also is very, very important. We are people, right? There's a lot of interaction work around there that the business they can't do without us. They can't do without us. So the business analysis role will always be there.
Welcome to the Inside Business Analysis podcast. I'm your host, Hannah Jacobs, and today I am joined with Pippa Goualin. Pippa, how are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. How are you, Thunder?
I'm doing fabulous, thank you. It is a pleasure to have you on the podcast and to
Thank
kind of
you.
talk about all things becoming a business analyst. I'm so excited about this conversation. Now, for those who have not come across you in your work before, can you please just give a brief introduction into yourself, what you do?
Yes, hi everybody. I'm Pippa. I've been a business analyst for almost 10 years, working within the insurance sector, and I'm here to share business analysis knowledge with Thunder.
Awesome. Yeah. And what a journey you've had in the last 10 years. Now, before you became a business analyst, I found out that you were a brand ambassador in Harrods.
Yes.
Yeah, how did you find out about business analysis, kind of
Yeah.
from because you literally made the shift from, if I'm correct, from brand ambassador from BA, but BA meaning brand
Exactly.
ambassador, to BA meaning business analyst.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Um, well, at that time, I was still at university, and I probably had maybe 5 months to go studying psychology. So it was like a part-time job I was doing. Um, and at that stage as well, I wasn't exactly clear on what I want to be, what career path I want to follow, although my degree was in psychology. Um, so working in Harrods, you get to meet people from different parts of the world, meet all the Harrods clients, and being a Nigerian and having an accent, I tend to make friends with most of the Nigerian clients. So one of those days on the shop floor, I was approached by a Nigerian client and we were chatting. And then he was like, "Oh, your accent, are you Nigerian?" I was like, "Yes, I'm Nigerian." And then from chatting, he talked about business analysis. He was running this course for foundation in business analysis, BCS Foundation. And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm not really interested in IT. I don't have any IT knowledge. I don't know what it's about." But he had so much to say about it, and I was like, let me give it a try. And the course was starting, I think a few weeks after that time that we met. So I just jumped on it. I just jumped on the course. And apart from that, I've always been intrigued about how business decisions are made, how the strategies behind those business decisions are made as well. Working in Harrods, I planned to sort of work my way up to through the structure of the business, right? But I always was inquisitive. I always wanted to know, how does the business work? What are the various problems that they have? But I didn't know that there was such a role at business analysis until I did this course, and then I decided to make that switch, really taking the course and then leveraging my experiences and my relevant skills such as communication and problem solving. Yeah, and that's really how how I became a business analyst, doing a course to really understand where or whether it's the right career path for me. Yeah.
Awesome. No, that's really, really powerful. And your story is similar to mine in that I was working in sales, and one of my
Oh,
clients basically did the same thing. The
really?
only difference was they weren't doing a training, so I had to figure my own way. But
Yeah.
that awareness, that somebody else saying to you, "Hey, I think this path would be good for you." It changes the game, doesn't it? And it
It
really does
does.
set you on a different path. And all of a sudden, for yourself, this was 10 years ago now, and
Yes.
like in the last 10 years you've built this career in business analysis, and I'm sure you've had an incredible journey. But it's always interesting how that journey, at least between the two of us, has started off by somebody being that seed,
Hmm.
planting that seed in us and saying, okay, let me try it. Because most BAs I speak to, they say they fell into business analysis, whereas like people like
Mm.
myself and you, we were kind of like not guided, should I say, to say, listen, there's this other path that you should consider. You
Yes,
know, take it if you're interested in it.
yes, yes. That's true. A lot of BAs I meet as well, they just fall into the role, and I'm like, I don't think I fell into the role. I just went for it. But yeah, it's interesting that we have similar experiences.
So fast forward to 2021, you then started your own business analysis focused training company, which is called Business Analyst School, where you teach and mentor people to effectively do exactly what was done to you 10 years
Yeah.
ago, which is how do I transition to become a business analyst?
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I may guess the answer to this, but I'd be interested to know from you what inspired you to then start your own training company.
Yes. I've always loved to teach, uh, and I've always loved to learn as well. And at the start of my career, the challenges that I faced, I kind of noticed a gap with in practical or real world training for aspiring business analysts, right? Um, and I went back to the beginning to kind of think about what I needed at that point. Um, and what I really needed at that point was real life. What exactly are business analysts doing in the workplace? What exactly is it like to work in an office? What are the challenges I would expect with regards to stakeholder management and all those various nuances within business analysis? Um, yeah, so I think that's what inspired me because there wasn't a lot of resources out there with regards to real life business analysis, um, sort of case studies or life projects. Apart from the theoretical knowledge, courses and certifications, I wanted to experience the real life. Yeah, so this is really what inspired me to start, create a sort of platform where I can share my experience and my knowledge in business analysis and also help people to understand what the real life is actually like for people that are aspiring to become business analysts. Yes, so that's it really why I started.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you on that. There's not many things that are geared towards aspiring business analysts. I think there is certainly a lot of stuff for people who are already practicing business analysts and looking to, progress and things like that. And then the things that are for aspiring can also tend to be very theoretical. You know, you kind of learn
Yes,
the meaning of terminologies and
yes,
the process of doing a particular thing, but actually once you get the job, it's a very different situation. You know, there's a difference
exactly.
between knowing the definition of a user story to
Yes.
working with clients to actually really understand what the requirements are. It's a very
Mm-hmm,
different thing, isn't it? It's like,
mm-hmm.
wow, that's a learning curve.
Exactly. Yes, yes, definitely. It's taking me back as well to when I started finishing the course and then becoming a business analyst. It was so different. So different. So yeah.
So one thing I'm curious to know this actually, because as business analysts, typically when we're speaking to friends or family or other people, and they're like, "Oh, so what do you do then?" And
Mm.
there's always a little bit of a, "Oh, right, okay, I'm gonna have to explain what I do."
Yes,
In a way that makes sense. How do you, because obviously this is what you do on a daily basis, how do you
yes,
explain to people what a business analyst is? For example, your husband or your mom or your sister or whatever,
oh
like
my
how do you
God.
then tell them that, okay, this is what I do as a business analyst? What would you say to that?
To them, when you mentioned my mom, I was like, oh my God, how do I even explain that to my mom? But my mom still doesn't know what I do. But yeah, to other members of the family, she really doesn't get it. But yeah, to other members of the family, I would use the analogy of the bridge, right? As business analysts, we act to bridge the gap between the business needs and the solutions, right? So we generally work to understand the challenges that the business is experiencing, what are the goals for the business, and then we employ our skills and techniques to then help the business to reach or propose a solution to the business and help them to improve efficiency, productivity, and profitability. Um, but then when you start using all these terms, they just get bored and they get lost in the
Yes.
definition. So, yeah, I also try to give an example, a non workplace example, for instance, explaining to my son now, who's 13. I think of business analysis as or business analyst as a doctor, right? You go to the GP and you have a headache, and you tell the GP that you have a headache. The GP doesn't just, a good GP doesn't just give you paracetamol and tell you to rest, right? Just provide you the solution, right? Without really understanding what exactly are the underlying issues, right? Are you drinking enough water? Are you having enough rest? Trying to find the root cause of your headache symptom. So that's how I would explain that to a child, right? Before then going to the workplace example of we've reached the gap between what exactly does the business want. For instance, if there is a system that we want to replace, what is our current system like? Does it work well for our business, right? And if it doesn't work well, what other systems are available for us to then introduce and either replace the system or improve the system? So a business analyst will then help the business to understand those problems and help them reach a decision on the best solution for their business problem. Yeah. I hope I haven't waffled
Love
on
that.
too much there.
Love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, no. I love it. I think it sums it up well. There is a lot that you could have said, but I think you've summed it up really well. I love the doctor example, and I love the simplification of that as well. Just kind of saying, it's really more about really understanding the news, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why it's hard to pinpoint what we do, because it's not like it's more a thinking job than a doing job in a way, isn't it?
Mm,
Because there's a lot of thinking and analysis that we have to
yes.
do, which to analyze something doesn't always mean we are physically actually doing something like typing code or
Mm-hmm.
drafting documentation, but actually sometimes analyzing just simply means staring at a white piece of like board and putting post-it notes and trying to figure out what connects to what links to what, how this works, how that works. So it's more of that thinking perspective. That I think that's what makes it hard to really explain what we do,
Mm.
in my opinion, anyway.
Yes, yes, definitely. It can get quite difficult to explain what exactly it is we do without raising more questions or boring the person, right? Or losing the person in the definition of what we do. It also helps with if you have visuals to give. Um, I keep thinking about my son because he's very curious about what I do. So I've shown him some process maps, like, right, as is process map. This is what we are doing. We are looking at who is doing what are they doing, how are they doing it, and what are the problems. And I show him this visual because he loves visuals, and then he thinks like, oh, this is a really cool job, right? Um, but yeah, I was gonna say it helps to have some sort of visuals as well to help people understand what we do.
Yeah, because
Hmm.
some people learn by seeing, to be honest, and it starts to make sense when they
Yes.
see it rather than just hearing words. So I became a business analyst about 5 years
Mm.
ago. That's when my client said to me, check this out. Your customer Harrods said to you 10 years ago, check this out. Thinking about 2024,
Yes.
would you say that business analysis is still an
Mhm.
in-demand career?
Yes, I think so. I think it will always be in demand, um, because of the increasing complexity of the business environment, the need for organizations to adapt quickly to new or changing markets, new technologies, internal and external environmental factors. So it really makes the business analyst a crucial role to help guide the business through these challenges. So that as business analysts will help to provide and yeah, provide those business solutions, and help the business really to find its value. Um, but yeah, I think the BA role will always remain in demand, not just in 2024, for many, many years to come. And apart from that, the human aspect of business analysis also is very, very important. We are people, right? There's a lot of interaction work around there that the business they can't do without us. They can't do without us. So the business analysis role will always be there. I think so. What do you think?
Hell, I think that there is. I'm going to give an interesting answer. So I would say I think that there is certainly always going to be a need for business analysis skill set for
Mm-hmm.
sure. And being able to do business analysis, I think that will always be the case. I think what may what may become skewed over time is the job title itself. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's probably where some of the confusion or the things may come from. So I've read job descriptions with implementation consultant, but actually that's reading the actual activities. That's business analysis.
Mm.
But equally speaking, I've read business analyst job titles that have nothing to do with business analysis.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's I think the job title element of it will certainly be I don't know. It may not be that the business analyst job title will always be there, but I don't know whether it will or won't. But definitely the business analysis skill set, I think fundamentally that will always be needed
Mm.
for sure. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah, that's really
Time will tell.
interesting. Yeah, that's actually really interesting because yeah, I can relate with your findings in business analysis, job descriptions, um, with other job titles or roles. Yeah, that's something to think about actually. It makes a lot of sense because the role and the skill set. Yeah, because really we provide a service to the business really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, so for those people who are listening to this and they are aspiring business analysts
Hmm.
and they are wanting to become business analysts, what would you say are some of the key first steps to take to make that transition? What do you typically kind of walk your students through, or what are the things that you'd say? Yeah, these are the first thing or the first couple of things to really think about.
Mm. I would advise aspiring business analysts to first get the knowledge, right? Um, Possibly by doing courses, um, and gaining certification so that it helps you understand the theoretical aspects of business analysis. And then also identify your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? Your personal SWOT analysis with regards to the skills and techniques required for the role for business analysis. You want to identify those to see if you have those existing skills, whether it's soft skills or transferable skills from the field that you work in. Um, and then from identifying the strengths, you then start to identify the weaknesses. What areas is it that you need to work on so that you're able to meet those required strengths for the role? Um, so those are the two things. Identify the skills and techniques that you need. Do some courses to build on those skills and techniques. Courses to build on business analysis as well, and really know your why. Why exactly is it that you want to become a business analyst? Is it because you are interested in the technical aspects of it? Are you interested in software development lifecycle, agile environments, or are you interested in process improvement? Try to identify what area exactly of business analysis you want to go into. Um, yeah, those are the three things I would advise.
Yeah, no, those are great starting points. And
Right?
certainly learning the foundation of business analysis is key for me as well. I think that's there because and I don't know if you agree with this, but the BA role is one of the tech roles that has lower barrier to entries in comparison to other ones. Um,
Mm,
Mostly because we don't
yes.
need a degree to become a business analyst. You don't need other things that, say, a developer would need or a QA tester would need XYZ. So from that perspective, it is lower barrier to entry, but that doesn't mean it's easy to get into it, right? It simply means
Yeah,
if you want to get
exactly.
into tech, BA is a good route, but there is still that fundamental analysis to learn. So talking about kind of things that
Mhm.
people should learn, um, how would you advise then aspiring BAs to develop these technical skills that we mentioned? So, for example, whether it is process modeling or data modeling or user story refinement, how
Mhm.
do you then encourage them to not just read the textbook and say I know it, but to really build that skill set?
Mm. Um, I think it depends on the stage that the person is at. So, for instance, if you're recently graduated, for instance, how do you begin that? Getting the knowledge, right? It is again going back to the fundamentals, the foundations of business analysis, and then working to gain knowledge or practical experience in those uh, technical skills, right? And then for people who are already working in non-relating BA roles, I would advise exploring where you currently are, exploring people who work in projects, asking questions, and trying to get involved in your current space. Trying to practice stakeholder engagement, for instance, practice how to employ your soft skills, where to apply those. What else? No, I think mainly courses. Do courses that involve practical aspects of business analysis, case studies, or real life project simulations, and other areas to attending webinars, networking, reaching out to people on LinkedIn even to ask questions, existing business analysts. I know I've done that in the past to ask questions about or advice. Finding mentors as well helps, so that you know exactly what technical skills it is that you need to work on, and find guidance on how to build on those technical skills, such as learning how to use Excel for data manipulation, right? User story writing, process mapping, all those things. Finding those practical applications of the skills.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, love that. Love that. Are there any common myths or misconceptions that aspiring BAs have that you
Hmm.
frequently address when you are mentoring people to kind of say, actually, no, that's not true, or that's not quite the case,
Yeah,
and things like that. The kind of beliefs that you see people
yeah.
that they have about the BA role that you have to then challenge.
I think the key one you already kind of mentioned is that we have to have an IT background, or you need to know coding. Those are the key ones. You need to know how to use SQL, SQL, for instance, right? Although they are great tools to know, right? It's good to have technical understanding or IT sort of understanding, know a little bit about SQL. But it doesn't stop you from becoming a business analyst, because business analysts come from various backgrounds, right? What's important is that we're able to analyze problems, we're able to understand business needs, and we're able to communicate effectively. I think that's the most important thing before then thinking about the IT aspect and the technical aspect of things. So that's what I usually would respond to my mentees that are worried that they need to have IT background, they need to know coding, or they need to come from a business analysis relating previous role or previous job title. Um, yeah, yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I totally agree. On that last point, then, say there is a
Hmm.
sorry, an aspiring business analyst who is saying that they're struggling because they keep getting told you don't have BA experience, for example, or they're struggling to kind of get their
Mm,
foot in the door. What would you say to them? You know, maybe they're saying, yeah, I've never worked as a BA, but I've learned the I've learned the knowledge, and maybe put it into practice here and there, but I've never actually
Mm.
had a BA job, and I'm struggling to get one. Are there any particular tips that you have for them?
Yes, I think for people like that, the problem um, is either lacking confidence, right? Or some sort of fear to take take the next step, right? You've already done the courses. You already know, right, what business analysis is about. What is the next step? Rather than sitting and doubting the work that you've put in, go on and take the next step. There's somebody will definitely give you a chance. And the next step is making sure that your CV has all the business analysis related details, all those experience, transferable skills, whether it's from a non-existing BA role. Those transferable skills are very, very important. Those domain knowledge is very, very important. For instance, I've mentored a previous nurse, right, who's worked in within the nursing environment, and no, she lacked confidence in what are my next steps, right? Identify those systems that you use. What are those systems that you use? What are the problems that exist in those systems? Identify it, right? Document it. From the courses that you've done, you're able to document those problems. Speak to someone in your area of work. Speak to someone who works in projects, right? Work closely with them. Add that to your CV. Add that work experience to your CV, or find some sort of for instance, with business analyst school, we do the practical aspects, case studies and projects. Find those sort of experiences to give you more confidence that you're able to take the next step, by perfecting your CV and starting to just apply for the jobs. Yeah, I think that's what I would say.
I
I
love
hope
it.
that
I love it.
helps. I hope that helps.
I know it really does. And I think the reason why I love it is because it's exactly what I did. Number one,
Yes.
and number two, I'd imagine it's exactly what you did as
Yes.
well. You know, we both came from non-technical BA backgrounds.
Exactly.
Put in the work, you learn the knowledge, practice it, reach out to people you need to reach out, and you have to be confident in the
You
fact
have
that you
to.
know your stuff. There's no other way around it. You can't walk in there a bit timid and think, I've never been a
Yes.
BA, so I don't know. You kind of have to walk in and say, listen, I've never been a BA, but
Yeah.
I know about this, I know about that, I've done this, I've tried that, I've volunteered over here, I learned this over there. And you just have to show your confidence. And as Pippa said,
Mm-hmm.
somebody will say yes to you. All you need is one
Somebody
yes
will.
when it comes to job hunting, right?
Yes.
You may have 200 applications, but all you need is just that one offer, and that's it, you're done, you know?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
100% love that. I love that, Pippa. I love that. So you did touch on this earlier just now with your answer around the things that you offer at business analyst school. Because so
Mhm.
can you give us a like an overview of what business analyst school, your company, what you do, and what you offer your students?
Okay. So Business Analyst School offers a membership platform with on-demand courses such as the BCS Foundation Business Analysis exam preparation course, on-demand video recorded courses, agile courses, as well as resources and templates to help you really see those real life documentation that we provide as business analysts. It also offers a monthly live coaching session with future business analysts, right, or existing business analysts rather, to guide you again through that business analysis that you aspire to experience, right? So those are the key things that the membership platform offers. It also does offer one-to-one mentorship with me. I'm still looking at areas of exploring other mentors to come into the platform to mentor these aspiring business analysts. Apart from the membership platform, we also have the boot camp, which runs over 12 weeks, called Business Analysis in Real Life. Right, so we would cover the foundations of business analysis, the theoretical aspect of things, and then work on a real life project case study, so that you can really build on your confidence, and know exactly what to expect in the future for for when you become a business analyst. And as part of that bootcamp, we also do CV review. We help you with improving your CV and interview preparation work. So it's like a mentorship package as part of the bootcamp, which exists outside the membership platform. Yeah, that's what we offer in Business Analyst School.
Yes, really, really great stuff, Pippa. That you're doing. So you effectively, if I've really understood correctly, you know offering all these different things that you've mentioned, but they come in two packages, right? The first package is this kind of ongoing membership type. You know, you join and you kind of pay. You're there and per month and for as long as you need, whether that's 6 months or 1 year, to kind
Hmm.
of really be handheld through your journey, or even longer. But you then have this separate specific boot camp for 12 weeks where I guess people are gonna be going hard, no days rest kind of thing, just 12 week of impact and just going
Yes.
at it. With each of these two things, I'll put the link in the show notes in the description on YouTube for the listeners to click into. They can check out Pippa's offering, and there might be a special discount waiting for you. I don't know. I'll speak to Pippa afterwards to see how nice she is. But if you click that link, you can then check out the boot camp, the 12-week boot camp, and also the membership platform, which is kind of ongoing. Speaking of the boot camp, when is the boot camp kicking off? The next one?
The next one is kicking off in January the 10th on a Wednesday. And we start at 7 p.m. to allow people to get home from work, right? So 7 to 9 p.m., generally 2 hours.
Awesome. Yeah, that's January the 10th is good. I'm sure this episode will be released before that date so that
Yes.
people know about it in time and also sign up in time and be ready to start 2024 as the year that you're going to become a business analyst if this is your goal. Stop putting it off for sure. Um,
Exactly.
can you share any success stories? You mentioned the nurse earlier, but I'm just wanted to really understand this part. Any success stories from people who have gone through your program and then become business analysts at the end of it? Any
Mhm.
kind of where they came from? What jobs did they have before they joined your program, and how long did they take to make that switch?
Yes. Actually, I have a few off the top of my head. A previous head teacher who went on to become a business analyst.
Wow.
Over, I think maybe a couple of months.
Wow.
Yes, yes, he wanted to become a business analyst, and we're friends. The thing with business analyst school, once you've gone through the boot camp, we build that relationship, and we've
Of
become friends.
course.
So he's doing really well. He's doing really well. There is a couple of nurses who went on to become business analysts, and one of them has gone on to be a senior business analyst after 3 months of being a mid-level.
You're
So he's done really, really well
wow.
as well. Yeah, I know. I don't know how that happened. I was like, what? And we've also had a couple of people in the US and Canada who I've mentored, and they've gone on to be business analysts. Um, yeah, I think those are the ones. Oh, and we have a few graduates that I've also mentored to become a business analyst. One of them I mentored over, I think, 2, 3 months, and she went on to earn 60K, her first job as a business
Goodness
analyst.
me. Goodness me.
Sixty
That
thousand pounds
is
per year. I was like, how did you land that?
that is
Yeah,
inspiring.
amazing,
That is
isn't it?
inspiring. Graduate, graduate.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, a graduate on 60K. But it's not just, again, it's not just through the boot camp, it's continuous mentorship. So after the 12 weeks, we still keep in touch and help you to transition into your new role. We talk about the project if you're allowed to, and I help you to know exactly what are you supposed to do next, what are you supposed to do next, until you build your confidence, and then you're able to just carry on your own without my help. Yeah, so it's really, really interesting to have those success stories. It makes me feel fulfilled as well in the work that I do with regards to sharing business analysis knowledge. Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
It's
I
great. It's
love that. I
amazing.
love that. I love that so much. Helping real people who have
Yeah.
a desire to become business analysts and walking them through that journey, but not just teaching them and then walking away, but teaching them and then helping them to land the job. And then once they've landed the job,
Yes.
continuing to support them, on that journey. And I think that is such a powerful offering, and that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I want to bring you on, Pippa, to really talk about what your offering is, and also pick your brain about what you would say to aspiring business analysts. Um, so before we wrap up today's conversation, Pippa, just a couple of questions for me. The first one is, so where is the best place that people
Okay.
can kind of connect with you if they wanted to connect with you, and maybe grab you for a virtual coffee?
Uh, via the membership website. So I have a link where you can book a one-to-one with me, an initial discovery call for half an hour or a longer session if you want. Or you can reach out to me on Instagram, Business Analyst School, or on YouTube. I'm also on YouTube as Pippa G, where I share free resources and free business analysis knowledge. Reach out in the comments section. I always respond to all the comments.
Great. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And remember to quote Inside Business Analysts when you do speak to Pippa. She might give you a nice little discount. You never know, guys. You never know, right?
Yes.
But honestly, it's. I think it's great. I think it's
Yes.
great what you're doing. The second from last question that I wanted to ask you is any parting words for an aspiring business analyst who is listening to you right now and they have been thinking about taking the next step to become a business analyst, but
Mm.
it's just been a dream right now, and what would you say
Mm.
to them to start taking action?
Yes, I think for aspiring business analysts, just do it. Don't sit and keep wondering if you should, because if you keep wondering, you'll always keep wondering. You keep always keep questioning what if, right? Just take the leap and see where it takes you. Again, find mentors to help you because you can't do this on your own. You need somebody to guide you, whether it's taking courses, whether it's mentorship. Find yourself in a space with like-minded aspiring business analysts so that you have that community feel, right? That you're not on your own. And finally is keep the momentum once you start. Don't stop. Because once you lose the momentum, you've lost a lot of progress that you could have made in exploring business analysis. Yeah, that's what I'd say. Just keep going. Don't give up. Find resources to help you, um, and keep your motivation up.
Amen to that, absolutely. And the final question is,
Yeah.
what does 2024 look like for the business analyst school? What's your plans?
Ooh, we have a lot of plans. So because I run this on my own, right? It can take its toll with work as well because I still work as a business analyst. But the plans that I have is to bring in more experienced business analysts to come and share their experience and knowledge within the membership platform. And we're also working on a few other courses to help aspiring business analysts to work towards their diploma in business analysis, including your requirements engineering, modeling business processes and BA practice. So those are the courses coming up. So those are the two key things. Apart from that, we're also working on more ebooks because I started creating ebooks a couple of months ago, and they're really helping aspiring business analysts. So creating more ebooks with regards to requests from these existing members. I'm really meeting your needs around reaching your business analysis goals. Yeah, so those are the key things I'm looking at exploring for next year, and I'm quite excited about them as well.
So yeah, sounds exciting. Sounds exciting. Well,
Yeah,
Pippa, first of all, thank you again for coming on to the podcast. I think I really, really do appreciate you for willing to be on. And second of all, I just want to definitely give you
thank
flowers
you.
now. The work you're doing, I really appreciate it from afar, and just clapping hands for you and rooting you on, because this holds dear my heart, because I look back 5 years ago and I wish I had something like this, at the time when I was making the switch.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh.
and it's
Mm,
it's certainly, you're basically doing incredible work and really impacting people's lives. Careers play a huge part in our daily lives, and in our personal lives, and,
yes.
and being able to be supported to achieve your career goals honestly, it's incredible. And I just want to definitely point that out. But yeah, no, thank you so much for coming on. I've really enjoyed this conversation. Once again, for those who are listening, you can learn more about the Business Analyst School. Click the link in the description in the show notes. You'll be able to then, go into either the boot camp. I'll specify the links, one for the boot camp, one for the membership. And you can then learn more about, what Pippa's offering, and definitely sign up if you have been sitting on the fence or dreaming about becoming a business analyst for a long time. Don't wait. We both love it. People's been doing it for 10 years. I've been doing it for 5, and we're still going strong.
Yes.
So this is definitely a shift that we do not regret doing. But again, Pippa, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.